Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Southeastern Conference Softball, live in Starkville, Mississippi, as we get set for 13th ranked Auburn to take on Mississippi State in Game 2 of a 3-game weekend SEC series here at News Park on the MSU campus. Alongside former SEC softball player Morgan Bell, I'm Anthony Craven. Great to have you with us on a beautiful Saturday afternoon here in the Golden Triangle of Mississippi. Game number 2, Morgan, on the weekend between the Bulldogs and the Tigers. Last night's Game 1 was a heck of a softball game. Huge comeback win for Mississippi State.
Yeah, absolutely. It was definitely a slugfest last night for Auburn. They hit 3 home runs on their team, and Mississippi State just came back with manufacturing a lot of runs, getting some RBIs with a great come-behind win. It was a really good game. Had you on the edge of your seat until the very last pitch. An amazing pitching job by Alyssa Loza, who, like I said, gave up some home runs and some runs, but came out on top.
It was Auburn's first conference loss of the year. It was MSU's first conference win of the season. So Auburn is now 26-5 overall, 3-1 in the SEC, and Mississippi State improves to 20-8 overall, 1-3 in conference, coming into today's pivotal game number 2. As State will try to take the series, Auburn will try to force a rubber game for Sunday. Let's take a look at the Auburn batting order. Leading things off with shortstop Taylon Snow, followed by Casey McCracken and Alyssa Rivera. McCracken, the second baseman, Rivera, the right fielder. The first 3 in the order up to face the Bulldogs starting pitcher, the freshman right-hander Kayla Bozeman, who is ready, and we are underway as Bozeman delivers strike 1. Bozeman getting her second action in SEC play as she was in the circle against Kentucky last weekend, and albeit a loss, pitched pretty effectively for MSU.
Yeah, she definitely did. She, like you said, she did pitch against Kentucky, and she did a great job.
Speaking of great job, how about Bevier Robinson calling off Heimberger there at the last second, making that catch in shallow center field?
Yeah, that was a really great catch. Definitely communication was a key right there. Great job by Robinson.
So quickly, Taylon Snow, a .373 hitter on the year, pops out. No one on and one gone for Casey McCracken, a .417 hitter, having a heck of a senior season. Right-handed hitting infielder for the Auburn Tigers. Bozeman, 2-1 record in the circle this year for Mississippi State, 2.19 ERA. Fires one in there and misses off the outside corner.
Bozeman, the freshman, we've kind of seen her grow a lot this season. We saw her make her first career start in a midweek game, and then she earned herself the start against Kentucky.
Ball lifted fairly deep into the gap. It'll hit the wall in right center. A stand-up double as the ball gets away from the infielders, but not advancing from second base is McCracken. Stand-up double for Casey McCracken, her 10th double on the year to lead Auburn, and the Tigers in scoring position early in this one.
Yeah, really big right there for Auburn. Really, really important because, I mean, like we saw last night, it's going to be a close game. It's going to be a slugfest. It's going to be about who can score early and often.
These two teams certainly hanging their hats on offense, and that was on full display last night. At the dish now for the Auburn Tigers, dressed in the all-white uniforms today, the lefty Alyssa Rivera, a .341 hitting junior, right fielder. The Bulldog infield in at the corners. Ball lifted opposite way, foul and out of play. The middle of the Auburn batting order features Taylon Snow, Kendall Veach, and Brittany Marcette. The bottom 3, Justice Perry, Cameron Greenwood, and Morgan Podany. We'll set the State defense for you after this pitch, which is fouled back and out of play. by Rivera. The Bulldogs have, obviously, Bozeman in the circle. Behind the plate, State has Mia Davidson. Sarai New at first, Heimberger at second, Montana Davidson over at third, and Bevier Robinson at short. Grounder right side, only plays at first, and Heimberger gets the ball to Sarai New in time, 4-3. Rivera is retired as McCracken goes over to third base, 2 gone.
Number 9, Tannen Snow.
The Bulldog outfield has Candace Dennis in left, Kat Moore in center, and Carter Spexarth in right. As Tannen Snow, the cleanup hitting third baseman, steps in for Auburn and takes strike 1.
Tannen Snow, one of the hitters last night for Auburn who had a solo home run early in the game in the second inning.
She bats now with an RBI opportunity with McCracken at third. That was Tannen Snow's 9th homer of the year last night. That puts her second on the team behind Veach, who is standing in the on-deck circle.
Yeah, really important right here for Bozeman, the freshman. Do we have an illegal pitch?
We must have had an illegal pitch called. You see on your screen, third base umpire Jack Krauser in the circle talking with Bozeman and a few of the Bulldog infielders. I'm trying to see what the pitch count is. It's 1-1. Let's see if... I'm not sure what it was.
Maybe it was just a warning. But really key spot right here for Bozeman early in this game. You've got a great power hitter up right now and a really great power hitter on deck. Runner at third base.
2 gone in the inning. No score yet. Grounder right side. Heimberger gloves and throws, and Bozeman gets out of the inning. McCracken gets a double, but Auburn is held scoreless after the first half of the first inning. No score here in Starkville between 13th ranked Auburn and Mississippi State. No score yet here in Starkville. 13th ranked Auburn will send to the circle as the starting pitcher, the sophomore lefty Chardonnay Harris. A perfect 5-0 record on the year with an ERA of 1.82. And she will face the best hitter on State's team, maybe the best hitter in the SEC this year, Mia Davidson, the sophomore righty. The Bulldog catcher steps in, 5.14 average. with 15 home runs, 38 runs driven in. Will hit leadoff today in game number 2 against Auburn.
Yeah, what a great sophomore campaign she's having. A good chunk into the season so far, and she's just putting up some great numbers. Really just having an all-around great season offensively and defensively.
Has started every game but one that State has played so far this year. Three 3-0 the count as Harris is being perhaps intentionally careful.
Davidson hit a 2-run home run last night.
Of course she did.
Her 15th of the season.
And she just drew her 19th walk of the year. So she is on base to lead things off for Mississippi State. What a potent 1-2 punch at the top of the order here. When you put Davidson and Leilua, who now steps in, 1 and 2, you have over 70 RBI at the top of your order when these two are in there at the 1 and 2 hole.
Yeah, I think this is a really, I think it's a great move putting these two at the top of the lineup. They're going to get the most at-bats throughout the game. Going to be really productive in these spots.
Strike delivered by Harris. 10th appearance in the circle for Harris on the season, 6th start. She has thrown just over 34 innings on the year and has held teams to only a 184 batting average against her in those 34 2/3 innings. Change up that Leilua misses and fouls back into the Auburn dugout for a strike. 0-2 the count.
Harris, a lefty pitcher, which that in itself is a great trait to have as a pitcher. Lefty, she's gonna really rely on her curve and her rise ball that's also gonna have a little bit of a curve on it.
A sophomore out of Oak Park, Illinois. Leilua hits one right off the end of the bat, and a fairly easy play at second base for Auburn. Out number 1 is recorded as McCracken makes the catch. Leilua unable to advance Davidson. 1 on and 1 gone now for the senior Kat Moore. Kat Moore hitting just below 300 on the year. A left-handed hitter out of Holly Springs, Mississippi. She takes strike 1. With Harris now in the circle, that means over the weekend we have now seen the 3 healthy Auburn pitchers on the roster all pitch. It was Handley and Swindle last night in the losing effort, and now Harris gets the start today. Of course, the ace, Martin, not available with a broken hand that she is currently dealing with. Strike delivered at the knees.
Yeah, Martin, most innings pitched on the year, not available currently. She has a cast on her hand. We saw her before the game just kind of out there playing some wall ball with her healthier hand. So not someone that Mississippi State is not going to see this weekend.
A swing and a miss, and Harris records her first strikeout of the ball game as she gets more chasing. 2 gone now with Mia Davidson still at first base. Carter Spexarth, the cleanup hitter for State in the order today, now steps in.
Especially as a lefty matchup like that, Harris's curveball is going to look like it is coming right at you as a lefty, and it's going to break at the last second to go over the plate.
Spexarth hits the first pitch, a bouncer up the middle and through for a single. Spexarth, who is really seeing the ball well as of late, just collected her 15th hit of the year. She now has her average up well above 270 on the season, up almost to 300, and she keeps the inning alive now for MSU.
Yeah, she had a really good weekend last weekend against Kentucky, hit a grand slam that actually tied the program record for most grand slams by a team. Mississippi State has 5 grand slams on the season, which is tying the program record.
With a lot of softball still to be played. This team's offensive numbers are going to come close to breaking a lot of records, if not breaking a lot of records this year.
Absolutely.
Candace Dennis fouls one back, and she is now in the hole 0-2. Dennis, a junior out of Texas, throws right but bats left. You and I have mentioned before on broadcast, Morgan, she's sort of that Swiss Army knife, can do a little bit of everything for State offensively and defensively. A .372 hitter on the year, 16 hits, 5 runs driven in. RBI chance right here with Davidson on at second base. And Specksarth on at first. 2 gone, though, in a 0-0 ball game. Dennis fought that one off. We'll do it again.
Yeah, like you were saying, Anthony, a player that can kind of do it all. She has the speed. She has the ability to play the outfield, to hit for power, to hit using the short game, and then she can go out there and pitch. So definitely a lot of different ways to play Candace Dennis in your lineup.
How many players can say they can do all that? And, oh, by the way, I can go out there and give you 4 or 5 solid innings in the circle,
Absolutely.
too.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. It's always good to be able to do it all as a softball player. You know,
at this level, especially.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
I mean, you see it, in travel ball, and you see it at the high school level, but you don't see it as often at the collegiate level. Drag bunt, will it go foul? It never did. That thing never went foul.
Wow.
Auburn's going to get an argument. It'll be a very short-lived argument.
Wow.
I am shocked that ball never,
Yeah,
off the bat, the way it was spinning,
Yeah.
I thought this is going to go foul, and I thought Veach did the right thing, just sit there and see if it'll go foul.
Yeah, Veach and Harris both kind of just looked at it like, all right, let's let it go foul, and then
it never did.
Sometimes it doesn't keep going like you want it to. But props to Dennis for using her short game.
Bases are loaded for Mississippi State as Montana Davidson steps in. The sophomore righty. 1 home run, 5 doubles, 9 runs driven in. Bases are juiced after a drag bunt single off the bat of Candace Dennis. Foul tip. Harris has gotten out in front of almost every single State hitter 0-2. She walked Davidson, then got out in front of Leilua 0-2, Moore 0-2, Specksarth 0-2, Dennis 0-2. Now Montana Davidson 0-2.
That's pretty effective work. She's working early.
Foul tip, will do it again.
Yeah, I mean, her rise ball that curves, her cries, if you will,
Right.
That's pretty much her pitch, her main pitch that's going to be out of the zone. It's going to be her chase pitch that she'll go to along with the changeup.
How hard is that, the rise curveball to hit?
It's pretty tough. Definitely a good pitch to have in your toolkit.
Grounder, left side, flip to second, inning is over. Auburn gets out of a bases-loaded jam. No damage done. A couple of hits, no errors, 3 left on base. We've seen 4 stranded on the bases by the 2 teams combined in the first inning. As we now head to the top of the second, no score here in Starkville. Kendall Veach leads off the top of the second. No score yet between Auburn and Mississippi State in Game 2 of this 3-game SEC series. These two teams have each played just one conference weekend series. The Bulldogs were swept at Kentucky. A couple of close, tough losses last weekend in Lexington for the Bulldogs. Meanwhile, Auburn swept Texas A&M in their first SEC series.
Yeah, two very different outcomes.
Veach pops one up fairly deep into right, but right to Spexarth, who makes the grab for out number one.
Yeah, like I was saying, two very different outcomes for these teams last weekend. But, you know, it's all about how you respond to a good situation like sweeping a team or a negative situation like being swept. It's all about how you respond. It's about how you come back. So really, a really good match this weekend from these two teams who have both experienced some different things to kind of see how they both respond in these situations.
And listen, the SEC is just going to beat up on each other as the year goes on. There are a couple of teams that are off to some really, really good starts. Kentucky is one of those. But you're going to see, I think, when it's all said and done, you're going to see a lot of teams in the conference hovering around that 500 mark in conference. I just don't see anyone taking the SEC and running away with it like you saw Florida do a couple of times in the past decade.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've said this before. Every weekend, it's just about who plays the best that day, that inning, that pitch. It all comes down to that. So, like you said, there's really just no telling what could happen. There's no easy schedule. There's no easy weekend.
There's no weekend off.
There's no off weekend. I mean, it is every moment of SEC play is a straight grind.
I mean, I think, and listen, we're only two full weekends in. This is now just the third weekend of conference play, so there's still a lot that we're going to learn as the year goes on. But it looks like we're in a situation where you're going to see if all 13 teams have records over 500, they could all make regionals.
Yeah, I mean, it's happened before. It comes down to that RPI, that strength of schedule. And when you're in the SEC, everyone is good. Every SEC team has a good RPI. So whether or not you win or lose, playing in this conference just puts you in a really great spot to compete for an NCAA regional.
Nobody in non-conference play fell on their face. I mean, everyone did essentially what they were supposed to do, quote unquote, supposed to do in non-conference play. So you're right. It's one of those situations where everyone's RPI is going to be good enough, more than likely. As long as they can finish above 500 overall, they're going to be right there on selection day, expecting to hear their name called. Brittany Marcette is the hitter, a junior. The DP for the Auburn Tigers, batting in the 6th spot in the order. A .345 hitter on the year, 19th start for Marcette, who draws a walk from Bozeman, a one-out walk issued. First walk issued by Bozeman today. And walks have not been issued by Bozeman often. Just her 4th walk issued in almost 20 innings pitched now.
Yeah, she's very effective. You know, I think she's gained a little bit of swag for herself, you know, coming out and doing a pretty good job in her freshman campaign, only pitching a few games. But when she goes out there, you know, she's going to give it all she's got. She's going to have some confidence, well-earned confidence, and she's going to go right at these hitters.
The freshman from Chattanooga, Tennessee, was not used essentially the first almost month of the season. Made her debut a couple of weeks ago and has been effective for State. And what a throw from Mia Davidson, and caught before she even gets a chance to slide. was Marcette. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, that throw was right where she was about to slide, and Emily Heimberger timing it perfectly to catch it in time to tag Marcette. That was a really great job by Mia Davidson.
Everything worked out for State there. Bozeman threw a fastball. Mm-hmm. Davidson, quick release. And then Marcette got not a great jump.
Yeah.
Off of first, but still, that was about as well as you can throw someone out trying to steal second base.
That was perfectly placed throw.
So no one on and 2 gone now as Perry swings and misses, and the count evens up 2-2. Justice Perry, a junior, hitting just under 300 on the year for the Auburn Tigers. Right-handed hitting first baseman. Pop-up foul and out of play. New gave chase, but ran out of real estate, so we'll do it again. Count remains even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, we've seen both teams get hits. Both teams get runners on base, but so far the pitchers have responded every single time.
Yeah, absolutely. Really big moments that they were in, both pitchers early in this game, responding very well.
Sharply hit grounder to Montana Davidson, who gloves and throws across the diamond in time, and Perry is retired. So in the top of the second, no runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base. A walk was issued, but Marcette was thrown out trying to steal second base, so no one stranded for Auburn. Through an inning and a half, no score yet here in Starkville as the Bulldogs will have the 7 through 9 hitters, New, Heimberger, and Robinson due up. Sarai New, Emily Heimberger, and Bevier Robinson up in the bottom of the second for Mississippi State. No score yet here in Starkville. 13th ranked Auburn will have Harris back in the circle. The sophomore lefty worked out of a bases loaded jam in the first inning, and now will pitch to the bottom 3 in the state order. Alongside Morgan Bell, I'm Anthony Craven. Fantastic day for softball here in Starkville, and a nice crowd has gathered here at News Park. Breaking ball misses, and the count evens up to New. A big weekend here for the MSU softball program, Alumni Weekend. Several dozen former players and managers and such on campus all weekend long. My colleague, Morgan Bell, one of those alumni. He said, over 40 former
there was about 43
players.
Alum.
Yeah.
Really, really cool getting to talk to some of these alum. You know, we had a Mississippi State.
Sarai New punches one into right field, but a nice job reading that ball and getting a nice jump in right field. Rivera makes the running catch, one gone.
Yeah, Mississippi State had some players return that played in the 80s.
Yes.
The
At the birth of the program.
Absolutely, the first ever fast pitch softball team at Mississippi State. Some of those members are here. They came and talked to the team, just shared some of their memories and how they couldn't imagine playing with what's available now to these athletes and how times have changed throughout the sport over the decades. So really cool weekend here in Starkville.
It's remarkable in the SEC in particular how the sport has evolved just in the past 10 to 15 years, much less the last 30 years.
Absolutely.
Heimberger swing and a miss. The senior lefty, a slap hitter from South Carolina. The Bulldog second baseman, her first plate appearance. High fly ball in left. Greenwood calls for it, and she makes the catch.
Mississippi State putting the ball in play. I mean, those were a couple solid balls that were just missed. So Mississippi State really aggressive right now against Harris.
We saw that in the first inning as well.
Yeah.
Lots of contact.
Absolutely.
Perhaps building off of the confidence they gained from last night when they scored 7 runs against the Auburn pitching staff. No one on and 2 gone as Bevier Robinson steps in. Down and in, ball 1.
Yeah, there's that curve. You could see it. It looked like it was right about to hit. Robinson at the last minute breaks right over the plate. A really good pitch that Harris is going to rely on a lot, especially to lefty batters.
Robinson showed bunt and then took it for a strike, and the count evens up. Robinson, a senior from the state of Alabama, started her college career in Florida at Pensacola State, then transferred in to Starkville a couple of years ago. Swing and a miss. She falls behind in the count now, 1-2. This is the first home SEC weekend series for the Bulldogs. And it's Auburn's first time on the road in conference play here in 2019.
Yeah, that pitch right there to Robinson, it looked like a low rise. So we talked about Harris having the rise with the natural curve on it, but she has the ability to throw it in there for a strike as a low rise. So really effective pitch.
And she gets one to strike out Robinson. So a nice inning, 1-2-3 for Harris. As we go now to the top of the third, still looking for our first run. 0-0 the score remains here in Starkville. Carmen Greenwood leads off the top of the third inning for Auburn in a scoreless ball game between the Tigers and Mississippi State. Bozeman back in the circle. The freshman right-hander has thrown 2 innings of shutout softball and will face the 8-hole hitter Greenwood, followed by the number 9 hitter Podany. And then the top of the order, Talon Snow, will step back up for Auburn, followed by the always dangerous Casey McCracken, if anyone can reach. Time called by Mia Davidson. The count is now 3-0. This sequence aside, what have you seen so far that you like from Kayla Bozeman?
I mean, she's attacking. She's going at these hitters. I mentioned that earlier. She has a little bit of swag about her, and she is keeping them off balance. You know, she throws hard. She'll throw the hard pitches on either side of the plate, and then she'll mix in an off-speed pitch, and it seems to be effective for her. Yeah, just definitely her being aggressive towards these hitters, going at these hitters.
On 4 pitches, a leadoff walk is issued to the 8-hole hitter Greenwood. That was even after time was called by Mia Davidson.
Yeah, we saw the quick inning, or the quick bottom half of the last inning. Auburn went 1-2-3 against Mississippi State, and now kind of gaining a little bit of momentum, getting their leadoff batter on base.
Showing bunt and taking it for a strike is Morgan Podany, a .303 hitting senior right-hander, starting center fielder for the Tigers. She has started every single game this season for Auburn. Shows bunt and takes it right off, I think, the stomach. And she will be given first base. That was a hard call there. I looked like she committed to the bunt and stood right in front of the ball.
Yeah, definitely. It looked like that to me, too. I mean, I'm sure it was kind of hard for her with the pitch coming right at her.
And Van Studeman is going to make that same argument, I think. That, listen, she squared up. I mean, I'm sorry I hit her, but she squared up and didn't get out of the way. And
yeah. I mean, she left her hands out there.
Yeah. Mia Davison appealed initially, and our home plate umpire, Chris Tahanika, asked for help, and John Baca at first base said that she did not commit. So a judgment call was made. 2 runners are on for Auburn. No one is out. A big opportunity here for the Tigers to get on the scoreboard first. The top of the order, Talon Snow, is due up. Right at the knees, strike 1. Talon Snow popped out to the shortstop Robinson, her first time up, when she led off things in the top of the first. Off-speed pitch. Runner takes off for third, and out at third base is Greenwood. Auburn is now 0 for 2 in stolen base attempts on Mia Davidson today.
Yeah, another really great throw, and good job by her sister, Montana Davidson, applying the tag on a kind of a tricky scenario right there.
And Montana was playing up from the bag.
Yeah, having to go back on that.
1-1 the count to Snow. Downstairs, 2 balls and a strike to Talon Snow. Not to be confused with older sister Tannen Snow.
Yeah, that's another really strong set of sisters.
Grounder foul for a strike. Count evens up 2-2.
Both of them putting up some great numbers so far this year. The shortstop, third base duo.
That was a breaking ball that just about never broke, and still Snow took a hack at it. Up and in. Fouled it off. We'll do it again. Count remains 2-2. What a huge out for State.
Yeah, that was
at third base.
I mean, just an incredible play.
Hard hit ball. No, just foul by about 2 feet. Taylon Snow just about had extra bases. That would have easily scored Podany from first base.
Absolutely. You know, back to that steal, as a pitcher, there is no better feeling than your catcher throwing a runner out or picking a runner off on a base. So I'm sure Bozeman was really excited about that.
Missing outside, count is full.
A really good battle right here.
Yes. 38 hits on the year for Taylon Snow. That is second most on the team. Lined out to Heimberger. What a play by the senior second baseman, Emily Heimberger.
Wow, that was a really great play. I mean, she laid out all for it.
Number 11, Casey McCracken.
Really great play, probably. I don't know if she would have scored from first, but definitely.
Certainly robbed Snow of a base hit.
Absolutely.
That was a well-struck ball, and Heimberger just grabbed it right out of the air. A diving snag as McCracken steps up. So Auburn had 2 on and no one out. Now it's 1 on and 2 gone, and still no one has scored, but here comes perhaps the best hitter on the team, McCracken. 41 hits, 10 doubles, 1 triple, 7 home runs, 24 runs driven in, and is hitting about .420 on the season.
Yeah, putting up some really good numbers in her senior campaign.
Off speed, runner takes off, throw is high. A high throw from Davidson. Safe at second base with a stolen base is Podany, and Auburn does get that coveted runner over in scoring position.
Yeah, you know, we've seen Mississippi State defense working really hard out there for their pitcher with the throwouts by Mia Davidson and then that catch by Heimberger. It looked like Mia Davidson got a little excited on that one when she saw the runner and just overthrew it a little bit.
That's Auburn's first stolen base of the day. Auburn is a team that will run a lot.
Yeah.
Regardless of who the catcher is.
Absolutely.
That's part of their offensive philosophy. Just below the knees for a strike. That lower half of the strike zone has been kind for Bozeman so far today. McCracken trying to give Auburn the lead with a base hit. State trying to get it out and get out of the inning. Pop-up foul should get out of play, and it will, off to our right side. McCracken doubled to the wall in left center her first time up, for her team leading 10th double of the year. That ball again headed to left, or to right this time, but instead of going to the wall, it's grabbed by Spexarth for out number 3. Bozeman gets herself in and then out of a jam, and we are still tied at 0 going out to the bottom of the third at News Park. No score yet in Starkville as Mia Davidson will lead off the bottom of the third for Mississippi State. The 1, 2, and 3 hitters in the order for the Bulldogs are due up this half inning. Davidson knocks the first pitch fairly deep into right, but a routine play is made as Rivera gets underneath it and makes the grab. One pitch, one out, no one on, and one gone as Fa'alelua steps in. So Harris, after issuing a 4-pitch walk to Mia Davidson back in the first, gets an out recorded on 1 pitch here in the third. A much better result the second time around for Chardonnay Harris. Fa'alelua hits one right off the glove of the third baseman Snow. It ricochets and rolls into the corner of left field, and that'll be a double for Fa'alelua. And the Bulldogs have a runner on base in scoring position.
Yeah, she... I mean, I think putting a glove on it and keeping it from going all the way into the corner was probably one of the best results that could have happened right there.
Leilua's first hit of the ball game. And after watching the replay, I'm not sure if Snow got a glove on it or not. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
I think she did get just a small piece of it.
Yeah, very a quick ball to react to for sure.
Catmore takes that pitch high. So runner on at second with 1 out after Leilua's third double of the year. Moore hits it high into the air, deep to left, back at the track, and making the catch in left center field is the center fielder, Podany. Well, she covered a lot of ground.
She caught it all the way in, almost in left field. I mean, she ran hard over there. What a great catch. You know, she has priority over the entire outfield, so I'm sure she was calling Greenwood off out there. Really great catch. I didn't know if it was going to be caught at first.
A senior in Podany making the right call right there and making the play for out number 2 as Spexarth steps in and takes strike 1. Spexarth had a single up the middle her first time up in the first. One of 3 Bulldog hits. She hits one through the left side. Rounding third is Leilua. Throw home is off target. And the Bulldogs are on top by a score of 1-0. And Spexarth, I think, twisted an ankle as she tried to hold up at second base. And she will be tagged out, but I think she's going to be okay.
Yeah.
I think she's twisted an ankle trying to stop right there. Let's see if we can get that on replay.
Hit the brakes and looks like she kind of stumbled, rolled an ankle there maybe. Definitely painful in the moment. I understand her going down for a minute. But
the RBI base hit will make her feel better.
Yeah.
1-0 Bulldogs on top after 3 here in Starkville. 1-0 our score heading to the top of the fourth. A Carter Spexarth 2-out RBI single. Scored Fa'alelua from second base. And that's where we stand now after 3 complete alongside Morgan Bell. I'm Anthony Craven. Great to have you with us on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. Nice crowd on hand for a big SEC weekend series. State took game 1 last night in dramatic fashion. And they now have a 1-0 lead here in the fourth as Rivera leads things off and will ground out to the first baseman, Sarai New, for out number 1.
Number 9, Tannen Snow.
Yeah, last inning we saw the really big RBI by Spexarth putting Mississippi State on the board. So we've seen a lot of hits, a lot of base runners this game by both teams, but Mississippi State able to manufacture that run first out of these two teams. So
we also saw Spexarth when she rounded second base as the ball came in from left field towards home. She either twisted an ankle or did something, fell down awkwardly, was tagged out, and now she is no longer in the ball game. Grace Dabbs is now playing in right field in her place.
yeah, she hopped up pretty quickly right after it, but looks like she might have tweaked something.
And meanwhile, Tannen Snow did a good job pulled one for a single into left. Auburn's second base knock of the ball game off of Bozeman. A 1-out single to left, and she will now be pinch run for as Fornes
At bat 24, Kendall Veach.
will step in to run at first base as Kendall Veach steps in to hit. So Auburn gets the tying run on base after the single from Snow. And Bozeman now will pitch to Veach, who throws one in there for a strike.
Yeah, Veach leading the team in home runs, 14 home runs on the year. Earned her 14th home run last night. A 2-run home run in the 6th inning for Auburn by Veach. It was a bomb to center field. So definitely a threat in the box.
Almost half of Veach's hits on the year have been homers. Swing and a miss. Throw down is in time. Tag is applied. Strike him out. Throw him out. Inning over.
That is no better feeling. I know Coach Van Suderman loves that. Right after a strikeout, throwing him out on the steal, picking him off. Really great job by Mississippi State defense.
1-0. State on top as we go to the bottom of the fourth at News Park in Starkville. 1-0 our score. Mississippi State over 13th ranked Auburn. As we hit the middle part of this one. Bottom of the fourth, Candace Dennis, first pitch swinging, and she knocks it off the wall. It took a nice hard ricochet off the wall, so Dennis did the smart thing and held up at first base for a hard single to right.
Yeah, definitely a great hit, obviously, but really smart base running. I mean, it hopped right off.
Field did Rivera to get that ball back in a hurry. Actually overthrew it, so Candace Dennis would have been safe
She
probably in retrospect.
Yeah, but definitely a smart move.
And now up and showing bunt and missing for strike one is Montana Davidson, Bulldog third baseman. Redshirt sophomore. And even though she and Mia are both sophomores, Montana is a year older. She's a redshirt third-year sophomore. Hits one out of play off to the right side for a strike. 0-2 the count. So now the bunt, if it was going to be in play, now is not going to be in play.
Yeah, now it's just Montana Davidson's job is to move this runner at this point. The bunt is off the table, essentially, so looking for a base hit, a quality at bat right here.
Line drive into right. Nice grab over the shoulder by Rivera. Rivera played that ball well. That was a well-struck ball, too, as Montana tried to go the opposite way.
Yeah, Montana got a really good piece of that. Just right to Rivera, and she made a really good catch on it, too. We've seen a lot of those today by both teams. Some really solid hits, just not really getting the wind underneath them enough.
We also have seen some really good defense.
Absolutely.
From both teams today.
Yeah, really good all around defensively.
Sarai New hits one over to the right side, only plays at first. And Auburn did a good job to get the ball there. McCracken covered some ground there on a ball that I thought had a chance to get through for a base knock initially.
Yeah, I did too. Just didn't have enough power behind it. McCracken was able to go over there and make a really good play. Get the force out at one.
Dennis over at second base now as Heimberger steps in. Runner on in scoring position, two gone. Heimberger, first pitch, pops it up. Left side, coming in and making the grab is Greenwood. State in the fourth, one hit. A single for Dennis off the wall, but no runs. There were no errors and one left on base. Auburn has left two on base. State has now left four on base. As we go to the top of the fifth, our score is Bulldogs 1, Tigers 0. Got a good one here in Starkville. 1-0 our score. Heading now to the fifth inning. Alongside Morgan Bell, I'm Anthony Craven. A one-run game last night between State and Auburn, and a one-run game so far today in Game 2. Leading off is Marcette, and she will one-hop one to Sarai New, who flashes the glove and gets the out. One gone, no one on.
That was a great play by New. First pitch of the inning, you've got to be ready, and she was ready for it. She was able to jump up there and get it.
You and I were talking between innings, both teams. A lot of swinging at first pitch strikes. We've seen a lot of balls put into play today.
Yeah, very aggressive game plans by both of these teams offensively. I mean, we've seen some really quick innings. It's the top of the fifth, and I feel like that much time hasn't gone by.
It hasn't.
These teams are being really aggressive in the box, and I mean, they're hitting well-struck balls, but like we said earlier, just some great defense being played by both of these teams. It's gonna be a battle until the end.
And so far, at least, it's one of those ball games where the ball has bounced the defender's way. Mm-hmm. The hitters have not received a lot of bounces so far on this one.
Yeah, not too many breaks by the hitters or given to the hitters.
Justice Perry at the plate. Perry grounded out to Davidson at third base, her first time up back in the second inning. Her average now .292. A right-handed hitting junior with Greenwood in the on-deck circle. Right at the knees for a strike. And Bozeman pretty quietly has gone 4 1/3, 2 base hits, no runs, 1 K, 2 walks. And the pitch count now right at 60.
Yeah, I mean, 1 K, it just goes to show how aggressive these batters are being.
A bouncing ball knocked down by Davidson. Throw from her knees is too low. Too low. The ball gets past New, blocked up well by Mia Davidson. I'm not sure Perry was going to try to take off towards second base anyway.
Yeah, on that play, Montana Davidson could have fielded that on her feet. She probably really didn't need to dive right there, which probably caused the speeding it up and making the bad throw, and then New unable to pick it. So probably a ball she should get on her feet.
That's going to be ruled initially an infield single. Even on a good throw, that was going to be a close play at first base. So Perry hustles down there. She legs out the infield single. And again, Auburn has the tying run on at first. There's one gone. Carmen Greenwood at the plate. Greenwood, a sophomore, drew a walk her first time out. That was that weird 4-pitch walk issued by Bozeman to lead off the third inning when Greenwood was up at the plate the first time today. Snap throw to first. Diving back to the bag is Perry.
Yeah, you mentioned the walk. We don't really see that out of Bozeman too much. The 4-pitch walk. You know, she's not afraid to go at these hitters.
Auburn has Perry on at first. Greenwood, the left-handed hitter, at the plate. Swing and a miss. And the count evens up 2-2. Teams on the year hitting just 183 against Bozeman. The 2-2. High fly ball. Shallow in right center. Catmore comes running in. A quick throw to first, but getting back to the bag, standing up at first is Perry. And there are 2 gone now in the Auburn half of the 5th inning.
Number 17, Morgan Podeni.
Greenwood just missed that. Another ball that we've seen, well struck. It just fielded well defensively.
And it brings up now for Auburn the 9-hole hitter, Podani. Ball one off the outside corner. Podani was hit by a pitch her first time up in the third. That was the sequence where she was trying to put a bunt down. And there was, at least briefly, some question as to whether or not she tried to get out of the way. It didn't matter. Auburn didn't score that half inning. Podani hits one hard to Heimberger, who throws to Sarai New, and New cannot hold on to it. It looked as if New had her back to us, had the ball in her glove, and could not hold on. Everyone is safe, and Auburn now has the tying and lead runs on base.
Yeah, I mean, Heimberger fielded that. It took a bad hop, kind of hopped up. Made a
Kind of an awkward throw.
Yeah. And New was just unable to hold on to it. Yeah, from our angle, we couldn't really tell where the mishap happened.
Just one of those where I think New was expecting the ball to come over to her left side, and it came hard to her right side. Yeah. And she had to backhand it real fast and just couldn't cleanly field it. I would imagine that would be ruled an error on New, and that's the ruling, yes, an E3.
Yeah, I mean, it was an awkward play, but it's a play that's got to be made late in the game. It would have been the third out to get out of this inning.
The first error committed by either team today, so a window has been opened for Auburn. Can the Tigers take advantage of it? They have the top of the order up. A pivotal moment right here, top of the fifth inning with Talon Snow. Downstairs. 2 balls and no strikes on the leadoff hitter, Talon Snow. Her average now at .365. She's 0 for 2 so far today against Bozeman. A pop out in the first, and she lined out on a great play made by Heimberger in the third. Strike delivered, 2-1 now the count.
That was a 2-0 hitter's pitch for sure.
Snow fouls it off. Count evens up 2-2. She was ready that time.
Yeah.
Just missed it. .38 hits on the year for Snow, but none so far today. Grounder to Heimberger. Throw to first is there in time. Bozeman gets out of the jam. Auburn strands 2 more runners. 1 hit, no runs, 1 error. 2 left on. 4 stranded by Auburn in the ball game. We go to the 5th inning stretch. Your score is 1-0. State on top. 1-0 our score. Mississippi State leads 13th ranked Auburn alongside Morgan Bell. I'm Anthony Craven. Bevier Robinson will lead off the bottom of the 5th for the Bulldogs. With Harris back in the circle for Auburn, she has gone the distance and so far has been effective for Auburn.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said earlier, she has that lefty curve, a pitch that's going to break right over the plate at the last minute. She has a rise with a natural curve on it, and then she has a lower rise that she can throw in there for a strike and mix up a changeup, or mix in a changeup. So a lot of different pitches that she's using, very effective on these Mississippi State batters.
Robinson trying to put a bunt down. Popped it up foul for a strike. She's now in the hole 0-2. Robinson struck out her first time up against Harris back in the 2nd inning. Auburn defense is in against the slap hitting Robinson, who again swings and misses, and Harris has been especially effective against State slap hitters.
Yeah, absolutely.
Today.
The lefty on lefty matchup is a bit challenging because it's a different angle. The ball's going to look like it's coming right at the hitter and break at the last minute. So very effective against left-handed hitters.
3 strikeouts now for Harris against just 1 walk. She has scattered 5 Bulldog hits over 4 1/3 innings. And she has only thrown 50 pitches so far today. Mia Davidson back up there. Davidson drew a walk in the first and popped out her last time up. Hits one on a rope, but foul in the corner of left field by about 10 feet.
Check in with me and do your job. Berg is the name. Pinballer did the chain. Tono for the watch. Prezi plain Jane. Yamagini chain. Rest in peace.
Davidson's on base percentage at .624. The slugging percentage over 1,000. About 1,200 on the slugging percentage.
Not too shabby.
She pops up that one back and out of play off the backstop. And she's behind in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Harris. So Davidson looking for her first hit of the ball game. Downstairs, count evens up 2-2. We'll give you an SEC scoreboard update here in a few minutes as almost everyone in the league in action this weekend. There's always at least one team who's off. Swing and a miss. Boy, nice pitch by Harris.
Yeah. Really great pitch. That rise ball breaking at the last minute out of the zone.
Davidson goes down swinging. Big out for Harris and the Tigers. No one on and 2 gone. Bottom of the 5th for Fa-Leilua, who had a big double her last time up and has scored the only run of the game today when she scored in the 3rd on Spexarth's 2-out single. So Leilua now has the batting average up at .376, .444 on base percentage. Check the swing. No, this hit. She went around. Leilua has been really good this year in 2-out situations. Takes that pitch for a strike. Harris having a really good 5th inning.
Yeah, really going at these hitters as we've seen with the strikeouts.
No one on, 2 gone, 1-2 count. Leilua pops it up. Straightaway center. Having a hard time with it, but finding it at the last moment. It's Podani in center field for out number 3.
Yeah, that was really impressive. I mean, that sun is straight up right now. She did a really good job getting under it, using her glove to find the ball. Really great play.
3 up, 3 down in the home half of the 5th. We go to the top of the 6th. 1-0 our score remains. State on top as we head to the final 2 innings here at News Park. Auburn has the 2, 3, and 4 hitters due up in the top of the 6th, trailing by a run. 1-0 is our score. Mississippi State scratched a run across in the 3rd. Besides that, we've seen Kayla Bozeman for State and Chardonnay Harris for Auburn pitch really well and really handcuff most of these hitters. That ball is just foul. Boy, McCracken almost had herself extra bases on that one.
Yeah. Like you were saying, I mean, this game, it's been great by all aspects. But 1 run, I mean, yes, you're ahead by 1 run, but that doesn't mean anything until the end. It can change at any moment, especially in these late innings. You know, right now the meat of the Auburn lineup is up. So, I mean, it's going to be a battle until the last pitch.
McCracken followed by Rivera and then Tannen Snow. And then we'll see the slugging catcher Veach step up if anyone can reach for Auburn here in the top half of the 6th. That just missed. The count is now 3-1. A hitter's count to Casey McCracken, the .418 hitter. And a veteran, too, a senior, who already has a double in the ball game today. That came back in the 1st inning. Hard hit ball headed for left center field. Coming over, though, and making the catch is Candace Dennis for out number 1.
Yeah, really great hit by McCracken. Just unable to find the grass.
And that's one of those where I think she might want to have that swing back because 3-1, hitter's count. She was ready, aggressive, and just mistimed it by a millisecond.
Yeah, absolutely. Just missed it. Still got a really good piece of it, though, but like you said.
Ball comes in off the corner and misses against Rivera. Rivera, a lefty. One of 4 lefties in the Auburn lineup today. It's a nice mixture of righties and lefties and types of hitters that Auburn has in this lineup.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely back and forth, righty, lefty.
And not all the lefties are slappers.
Exactly.
Rivera so far today 0 for 2. There's a strike delivered. 2 balls and a strike on Rivera. She grounded out twice today, once to Heimberger in the first, and then against Bozeman both times, but a ground out to Sarai New at first base, her last time up in the fourth, as she bats now here in the sixth. Little nubber off the handle, and it will be a base knock into left field. Opposite way goes Rivera, and Auburn once again will have the tying run on with less than 2 outs.
Yeah, great job right there by Rivera, keeping it simple, poking it out into the outfield, getting on base. Definitely.
Use there. That was
Yeah.
short, compact, late swing, and just simply.
Yeah, two strikes. 2 strikes, just protecting the plate right there.
So Rivera on at first after her first hit today, and it brings up the cleanup hitter, Tannen Snow, who so far today is 1 for 2 at a single her last time up in the fourth. Pitches outside. 1-1 goes the count. Tannen Snow, the Auburn third baseman, has had a really good campaign. A junior, 374 average, 423 on base percentage. Hits one into center field. Cat Moore grabs it. The wind is blowing out to left field right now, and I think the wind got a hold of that one just a little bit. That carried pretty quickly out to Cat Moore in center field.
It did. It was a great piece of hitting right to Cat Moore, though. Just another ball that's well struck, but just not enough juice to find the green.
Staying on at first base is Rivera, as Kendall Veach now will step in. Pitch comes down and in, ball 1. Veach today 0 for 2. Struck out against Bozeman back in the 4th inning. She flew out to right field her first time up in the 2nd. A .349 hitter on the year. Ball gets away from Davidson. Throw down is not in time. And we'll see if that will be ruled a wild pitch or a pass ball. Couldn't tell if that got in the dirt or not.
Yeah.
Been going anyway.
Maybe.
The way that Mia Davidson reacted, it's almost as if as that ball was getting into the mitt that she was trying to go ahead and get ready for a throw and simply mishandled it.
Yeah.
So either way, tying run in scoring position now for Auburn, looking for a big 2-out base hit from one of their veteran leaders, the catcher Veach. Who has driven in 33 runs on the year. Grounder left side. Robinson, throw to first, not in time. Runner comes home, throw is not in time. Auburn has tied the game. Aggressive base running by Rivera, and Auburn has tied the game at 1 here in the 6th.
Wow, I mean, the whole time.
Auburn manufactures a run. We've seen them with their aggressive base running run themselves out of a couple of innings.
Yeah.
Here in the 6th, though, they ran themselves into a run and have tied this game up.
Yeah, absolutely. Very aggressive base running on their end all day. That time it worked out in their favor. Mississippi State unable to complete that play to get out of the inning.
So Brittany Marisette now steps in. Left-handed hitter. Now the lead run is on base. That ball hits the runner. She'll be called out. That ball just Bad luck for Auburn. I think it was going to be an out anyway, but it clips the heels of Veach. So runner interference out is recorded, but Auburn is able to tie the game. 1 run on 2 base hits, including an infield single from Veach that scored Rivera from second base, and we're tied at 1 as we go now to the bottom of the 6th in Starkville. Got a brand new ball game now here in the bottom of the 6th after Auburn tied it on a 2-out infield single from the catcher Veach. We now go to the home half of the 6th, and Kat Moore will lead things off for Mississippi State. Harris back in the circle for Auburn.
Yeah, all day we've seen some really great pieces of hitting. Some players hitting some really good line drives to the outfield, but all it took for Auburn to score was a ground ball to the infield. You know, sometimes it's just about execution and manufacturing runs.
Kat Moore grounds out to the second baseman, McCracken. 1 gone. And a tough day offensively so far for Kat Moore, 0 for 3. And it brings up now Carter Spexarth, who we saw drive in State's run back in the 3rd. We also saw her tweak something, lower leg, as she rounded second base, was pulled out of the ball game defensively, and is now being reinserted in the lineup. Has worked her average up to above 300 now on the year, 302. Strike delivered right down the middle by Harris. Spexarth followed by Dennis. And then if either of them can reach, we'll see Montana Davidson step up to the plate. Both teams have 5 hits. Both teams have 1 run. Both teams have left 4 runners on base. Ball's fouled back off the backstop, off the netting behind home plate. 0-2 the count on Spexarth. Well, we have seen just a really evenly played softball game today.
Absolutely. I mean, both of these teams performing very similar as it shows on the scoreboard right now. Mississippi State has the 1 error.
Spexarth hits a 2-hopper over to third base. Tannen Snow fields it and throws to first in time. Spexarth is retired for the first time today. So quickly, Harris has retired the first 2 she's faced in this inning. And really, after State scored in the 3rd, Harris has come back and pitched really well in the 4th, 5th, and now the 6th innings for Auburn.
Yeah, I mean, she's been effective all day against these Mississippi State hitters. Done a really great job. I mean, we have the 1 run in the 3rd, but other than that, just pitching a great game.
She has, though, not retired Dennis yet today. Dennis, a bunt single in the 1st, and a hard hit ball for a single to right in the fourth. Did she commit to it? No, she did not. And that's going to get Auburn coaches out of the dugouts.
Oh, man. I personally think she went for it.
Yeah, she did. She did.
She definitely went for it. It looks like.
We've now seen one of those for each team today.
We have.
Certainly a debatable call.
Absolutely.
That got Coach Dean out of the dugout for Auburn. And rightfully so, probably.
Yeah.
Dennis hits one foul. The count is now 1-2. That may have been one of those instances where third base umpire Jack Krauser would just wasn't paying attention, which happens. You make the appeal down there, and
I mean, it does happen. It happens. I mean, maybe just missed it. Maybe saw something differently. I'm not really sure.
There's a bit of a delayed reaction, too. We saw the appeal, and solid 3 seconds went by. And then Jack said, no, she's good. Hard hit ball, nicely gloved by McCracken. 1-2-3. Harris sits down the Bulldogs. We go to the seventh inning, tied at 1. Don't go anywhere. I got a good finish in store for you here in Starkville. Tied at 1 in the seventh inning here in Starkville. Auburn will have the 7 through 9 hitters, Perry, Greenwood, and Podany, up to face Bozeman, who has gone the distance so far in the circle for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, really great performance by the freshman today. Like you said, pitched the entire game. 5 hits, but only 1 run, and it was on a ground ball to the infield after a base hit to shallow left. So, I mean.
And it was unearned.
Yeah, exactly.
Because a pass ball got Rivera over to second base to begin with.
Yeah.
Justice Perry steps in and takes strike 1. Perry, so far today, 1 for 2. She had a base hit her last time up in the 5th inning. Was left stranded at second base in that Auburn 5th inning. Pitch misses and the count evens up. The Bulldogs have a new right fielder, third different player to play in right field today, as Anna Kate Seegers is now in right field defensively for Mississippi State. We've seen Specksarth, Dabbs, and now Seegers. Pitch misses. Count is now 2 balls and a strike. And Bozeman came in with a grand total of 16 innings thrown on the year, and she is now in her 7th inning of work today only, one of her longer outings of the season. Grounder to third. Throw to first is in time. 5-3, Davidson to New, and Perry is retired. No one on and one gone.
Yeah, good job by Montana Davidson, keeping it really simple. Knew she had time. Throwing a strike over there.
It brings up the lefty Greenwood, and State brings in the infield defense on the corners, and Bozeman delivers a ball. And the count is 1-0. To Greenwood, who was 0-1 today, drew a walk in the third and flew out in the fifth. A .258 hitter on the year. Greenwood, the only Auburn hitter in the order today, not hitting at least .290 on the season.
Yeah, really, really strong offensively is this Auburn lineup.
At the knees, inside corner for a strike. 1-2 on Greenwood.
I mean, we saw this last weekend too. Auburn versus Texas A&M. Auburn scored 12 runs in the bottom of the sixth. To run rule
That's a
Texas
lot.
A&M. Exactly.
It's a lot of runs in a game, much less in one inning.
Exactly.
Of one game.
I mean, they were down by 4 and ended up winning the game in this bottom of the sixth.
And we saw both teams have big innings last night.
Yeah. Yeah.
When State held on to win 7-6.
Yeah, I mean, I'm honestly not surprised that it's a tie game in the 7th right now, the way these two teams are playing.
But you keep waiting for someone
something
to have that big inning, right? Or that big hit.
Big hit, someone to step up and take this game, take what's theirs.
2-2 the count on Greenwood. A Birmingham native, Oak Mountain High School. Hard hit grounder. Heimberger fields, throws to first in time. That was deep in the 4-hole. And Heimberger played that well. Out number 2. And it brings up now the 9-hole hitter, Podany. Podany, a senior from Ponte Vedra, Florida. I believe that is just south of Jacksonville.
I think so.
Podany so far today, 0 for 1. Has reached though twice. Was hit by a pitch in the 3rd, reached on an error in the 5th. Did not score though either time. And Auburn as a team could not score in either of those innings either. Mm-hmm. So an odd stat line offensively for Podany so far today. Her average now just below 300. Pop up right side. Could be a play, but running out of room with Sarai New. That ball bounces into the Auburn dugouts. This weekend series here, part of a really big weekend of sporting events on the campus of MSU. The NCAA women's basketball tournament, first and second round being hosted in Starkville. Baseball's hosting Auburn in a top 15 matchup. Men's tennis going on. Track and field holding a huge track event. The Al Schmidt relays all weekend long. What I'm trying to say is there's nowhere to park. That's what I'm getting at.
I have to agree. There's nowhere to park and a lot of people in one designated area of Starkville.
Grounder to Heimberger. She flips to first in time. 1-2-3. Bozeman gets the job done in the circle for Mississippi State. We go to the bottom of the 7th. We're tied at 1. State will have the 6 through 8 hitters due up. That's Davidson, Montana Davidson, Sarai New, and Emily Heimberger, as Chardonnay Harris will step back out to the circle for Auburn. Bottom of the 7th, tie ball game. And what has been just a really entertaining softball game today between Auburn and Mississippi State.
Yeah, it's been a really good game. I mean, not a lot of action per se, but a lot of just clutch plays. Also, routine plays being made, not too many errors. We have one error for Mississippi State, but just a good softball game.
Montana Davidson takes ball 1 from Chardonnay Harris. Harris, the sophomore for Auburn. Bozeman, the Bulldog freshman, have gone toe-to-toe in the circle, and they have both equipped themselves very well today, keeping 2 of the SEC's offenses in check. That's a bloop single. A bloop single to lead off the home half of the 7th inning. Winning run on at first base, no one out, with Sarai New at the dish for the Bulldogs.
Exactly what Mississippi State needed. Leadoff runner on base. Doesn't matter how it happens. Get on base, have a quality at bat, get base runners.
I called it a bloop, but I don't think she hit it. I think she was trying to go opposite way.
I think so. I think she's trying to go opposite way and just didn't get too much power behind it and found the grass.
So Montana Davidson now 1 for 2, or 1 for 3 rather. And she will now be run for at first base as Jamie Gregg will run at first base. So State puts a little more speed on the bases. The winning run on at first base. No one out. Sarai New steps up. She's 0 for 2. We'll see if she might be in a bunting situation. I doubt it, but, well, I stand corrected. This is why I'm up here and not in the dugout. What do I know? She bunts it foul for strike 1.
Yeah, definitely an opportune time to bunt. move the runner to scoring position.
Sarai New hits one into right field for a single. Back-to-back singles. Greg stays at second base. Sarai New on at first. Winning run on in scoring position. And no one out. A golden opportunity right here for Mississippi State.
Yeah, Sarai New, we just mentioned, hasn't had a hit all day, but comes up big. The senior veteran, been in many situations like this, keeps it simple, makes her last at bat, potential last at bat of the game, her best at bat, getting a hit for her team.
A couple of players who had gone 0 for 2 up until this inning. Montana Davidson, Sarai New, back-to-back singles.
Yeah.
Bulldogs in business as Heimberger steps up. No surprise here that she is showing bunt and tried to get one down that third base line and simply could not lay it down in fair territory. Besides Dennis, the bunt game has just not been played well by State today.
And that's one of the most important parts of the game is being able to get down bunts, sacrifice bunts.
Heimberger bounces one foul. Bounced it right off home plate. And now Heimberger in the hole 0-2.
Yeah, we saw this earlier. But when you go 0-2 in a bunt situation, your job now is to do your job without bunting. Move the runners, have a selfless at bat.
And Heimberger is a slapper who's known for putting the ball in play somewhere. Pops it up. High in the air. Center fielder grabs it. Runners stay put. So Heimberger unable to advance the runners. A big out to get for Auburn. And it looks as if a pinch hitter may be stepping up right now for State.
Now Taylor Kelly pinch hitting right here. For Bevier Robinson, not a bad idea at all. Robinson's more known for her slapping, her small ball. Taylor Kelly has a lot of power, the ability to drive the ball deep, score these runs, or run.
It's also a right-handed bat against the lefty.
Yeah, a
Harris.
little different in that aspect as well.
Kelly, a 5'8" senior from Calhoun, Georgia. Outside for ball one. We have not seen Kelly in this ball game, nor did we see her last night for State. So first action on the weekend offensively for TK against Auburn pitching. She hits one fairly deep, left center field. The ball will be caught on the track. Nice running catch. Runners stay put. Kelly gave it a ride, and Auburn got the job done defensively. Podani with the grab for out number 2.
We've seen Podani make a catch like that earlier today, making those look routine out there. But Taylor Kelly, what a great ball. That was what she went in there to do, drive a ball deep, and that's what she did. Not much you can be mad about there.
And because that ball was hit into left center field, Greg couldn't even tag and go to third base.
Unable to tag.
Top of the order, though, is due up as Mia Davidson steps up now for the Bulldogs. Pitch is high. So even though Auburn only needs one more out to send this game to extra innings, they're going to have to do it, get that out, against State's best hitter, and then State's second best hitter, potentially, with Davidson and then Leilua. Pop up, foul, and into the stands for strike one, and the count evens up.
Yeah.
Nice catch made by a fan.
Absolutely, right underneath us where we're sitting. I mean, Mia Davidson, she's been here before. She's been in moments like this. The key here is to not get too big, not put pressure on yourself, trust your training, be present.
Davidson looking for her first hit of the game, 0 for 2 so far today. Fly ball should be caught though. Center field, Podany squeezes it. Auburn gets out of the inning. A couple of hits, but Harris gets out of the jam. State, no runs off of 2 base hits. There were no errors, and 2 were left on. We go to extra innings. Free softball here in Starkville. To the top of the 8th we go, tied at 1. Talon Snow leads off the inning for Auburn as we head to extras. Top of the 8th, tied at 1. And a heck of a game so far today here on this Saturday afternoon. We saw a 1-run game last night. State won 7-6. After the Bulldogs scored 6 runs in the 3rd inning. They held off a late Auburn push and won by a score of 7-6. We have yet to see a big inning from either team today. State scored a run in the 3rd inning. Auburn came back and scored a run in the 6th inning. And now here we are in the 8th inning with Talon Snow at the plate. Comebacker gets through for a base hit. Leadoff single for Snow and the Auburn Tigers.
Yeah, like you said, Anthony, there hasn't been a big inning, a big moment, a big play for a team yet. It's all going to be about who's going to step up in that.
Went down and dug that ball out and knocked it right back up the middle. Brings up McCracken. Trying to put a bunt down, foul. Boy, Mia Davidson was ready to go to second and get that lead runner out had that been a fair ball. We talked about the bunting game in the 7th inning when State was in a bunt situation. I think it's a credit to both pitchers that neither team today has been able to cleanly put bunts down.
Yeah, I mean, pitchers, when there's a bunt situation at play, pitchers, there are certain pitches that they need to throw to try and get batters to pop the bunt up, to chase a pitch out of the zone. So really great job by both of these pitchers in that aspect.
Bunt is popped up, and Davidson diving. Unable to get there. Got to love the effort. 2 strikes now on McCracken. Well, even though Auburn is a really good hitting team, they clearly in this situation wanted their best hitter for average, McCracken, to put a bunt down, and she was unable to do so. Now we'll see what happens with the count 1-2. Just off the inside corner, evens up at 2-2. The top three in the order here in the 8th inning, along with the cleanup hitter Tannen Snow stepping up to face Bozeman. Downstairs, count is full. And Auburn on the verge of getting 2 on with no one out in the top half of the 8th inning. With Rivera, Tannen Snow, and Veach all coming up. Ball 4. For Bozeman, the third walk issued. The first 2 hitters have reached. And Auburn now with a golden opportunity to get their first lead of the ball game.
Yeah, I mean, we see this part of the lineup coming up with the big numbers, but it all comes down to having the quality at bat, to having the selfless at bat, to moving the runner. In a game like this, you've got to be willing to be selfless in that aspect and do whatever you can for your team.
And a really good job by McCracken, who couldn't put the button down, fell behind in the count 1-2, and didn't get impatient, and simply waited for her pitch. She never got it. A few balls missed the strike zone. She draws the walk. And more importantly for Auburn, gets that runner over to second base.
Absolutely.
It brings up Rivera, who is 1 for 3 today. A .340 hitter on the year with 21 runs driven in. Her last time up against Bozeman in the 6th inning, she got a base hit and scored Auburn's only run today. Bunt laid down, throw to first there, a nice dig by Heimberger at first base. But a nice bunt laid down by Rivera. Snow goes to third, McCracken to second base. And now 2 runners on in scoring position for the cleanup hitter, Tannen Snow. So the 8th inning has gone just as Auburn scripted it, I'm sure, so far. Now they're looking for a big hit. Just off the inside corner, belt high, ball 1.
Yeah, Bozeman still going at these hitters, being aggressive.
Easily Bozeman's longest outing of her freshman season. Came in 16 innings thrown all year, now in her 8th inning of work today. That one finds the strike zone. That time Bozeman went to the outside corner and got the call. And the count evens up. 1 ball, 1 strike. On Tannen Snow, today is 1 for 3. A base knock in the 4th, sandwiched in between a ground out and a fly out. Ball comes in and hits her. That was a rise ball that got away from Bozeman. Auburn has loaded the bases. First base was open, but still that was not in the plans there for Bozeman.
No.
So the Tigers have bases loaded for their leading home run hitter, the catcher Veach, who is also 1 for 3 today.
Yeah, really. I mean, Bozeman just, right now Mississippi State needs an infield ground ball. The potential to turn a double play, get out of this inning.
As you've said, Morgan, on our broadcast throughout the year, in this situation, runner at third, less than 2 outs, there are so many different ways to score the run.
Yeah. I mean, a sac fly, a potentially ground ball to the right side, just a ground ball through the infield. There's a lot of different ways for it to happen.
Van Studeman calls time. First time all ball game we've seen Van Studeman out of the dugout. The head coach for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, right now probably just, you can see her directly talking to Bozeman, telling her what to pitch right now. Tell her to just keep doing what she's been doing all game. She's throwing a great game, been very effective. Nothing changes right now.
The stat line for Bozeman, 7 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 1 unearned run. That's the only thing separating this ball game right here. Auburn, who knows what would have happened, but Auburn scored after a pass ball advanced Riviera into scoring position. So Auburn's lone run so far unearned. Fly ball to right field. Grabbed. Runner will tag. Throw comes home, and safe at home plate is Snow. And Auburn has their first lead of the ball game at 2-1. Seegers got that ball back in about as quickly as she possibly could.
Yeah, I mean, she had a great throw right there to Mia Davidson. It was actually a lot closer of a play than I expected it was going to be, but she definitely was safe. So
Auburn scores their first earned run of the game in extra innings, and they're on top 2-1, looking for more as Marissette steps in. A sac fly RBI for Veach. Scoring Talon Snow. McCracken over at third. Tannen Snow at second base. Strike delivered by Bozeman. 2 runs on 6 hits rather. 2 runs on 6 hits for Auburn. 1 run on 7 hits for Mississippi State. Little blooper, could be trouble. It is trouble. Drops into Bermuda's triangle. 2 runs will score. Auburn scores 3 runs in the 8th inning, and they now have a 4-1 advantage. A 2 RBI base hit for Marissette, the 6-hole hitter. A 2-out, 2 RBI base hit. And Auburn getting work done here in extra innings.
yeah, I mean, the unfortunate part about that was that's a ball, like you said, kind of in that Bermuda triangle. You have Emily Heimberger at second base and Robinson at shortstop going out there to try and catch it, leaving no one covering second base. So Marissette was easily able to leg that out to get to second.
And we'll see exactly how they scored that, a single or a double. Either way, a 2 RBI, 2-out base hits to give Auburn a 3-run lead in the 8th inning. It will be ruled a single, and Marissette will go to second base on what will be ruled a fielding error on Kat Moore. Hard hit ball to right. Throw comes home. Not in time, though. Actually cut off by Davidson up the line towards first. And Auburn in business. They now have, in this inning, 3 hits and have scored 4 runs and are trying to now take control, leading on the road 5-1 over the Bulldogs.
Yeah, Auburn getting that momentum, getting that contagious hitting going. Really big to do in the extra inning games.
A single from Perry scores Marissette. And here comes Greenwood, 8th batter of the inning for Auburn. 8 hits now total for Auburn, including 3 this inning. Lifted left side out of play. Looking ahead to the Bulldog 8th inning, it'll be Leilua, Moore, and then the number 4 spot in the order. We'll see who State will use. They've used Speckstarth most of the ball game in that cleanup spot, but we'll see who they use in the 8th because Speckstarth's already been taken out of the ball game now twice, so she cannot re-enter. McCracken drew a walk. Snow singled. Riviera put a bunt down. Hard hit ball deep off the top of the wall. Grabbed, thrown in, cut off, and scoring is Perry. Justice Perry comes all the way around from first base on a ball that hit the top of the wall, was grabbed by Dennis. She hit the cutoff man in Robinson, but Perry hustled around the bases and scored, and Auburn has now scored 5 runs on 4 base hits in the 8th inning.
Yeah, I mean, what a hit. Unfortunate it didn't go over the fence. That's a mixed emotion feeling. You're happy you got such a good hit, but you really wanted it to go over the fence right there. But
we saw almost a home run derby last night.
yeah,
No home runs today. That was the
Nope.
closest thing to a home run,
Yeah.
though. And now the 9-hole hitter Podani steps in. The entire Auburn order has stepped up here in the 8th inning. And they have unloaded on Bozeman, who just is not getting the same zip on her pitches here in the 8th inning we saw earlier in the ball game.
yeah, she's struggling a little more this inning, essentially to get out of the inning. You know, there's been 2 outs, giving up a few hits with the 2 outs, just unable to get that last out, get that last infield ground ball, pop up, something to allow her offense to go to work.
To your point, 4 of Auburn's 5 runs in this 8th inning have all come with 2 outs. Pop up, foul, and out of play to our left side. A ball and 2 strikes to count on Morgan Podani, who is now the only Auburn player in the order not to get a base hit. Foul ball again, this time off to the right side, out of play. So Podani fouled one off to the left, now to the right.
Yeah,
She stays alive.
Yeah, sorry, Bozeman working up in the zone on the last couple pitches, and Poneti doing a good job fouling them off, staying alive.
Off the outside corner for a ball. Count evens up, 2-2. These 2 teams play again tomorrow, 1 o'clock at News Park. Auburn hoping to hold on and make it a rubber match tomorrow afternoon. Hard hit ball up the middle. This could score another Auburn run, and it will. Greenwood rounds third. She will score the 6th run and the 5th hit of the inning for Auburn. And they have batted around here in the 8th. We kept saying, Morgan, when's the big inning going to come for one of these teams? And here it is for Auburn,
Yeah,
in the top of the 8th.
Yeah, Auburn taking advantage of their opportunity in this extra inning game, really making things happen offensively. Mississippi State has had 2 outs for a while now, still unable to get that last out. But Auburn taking complete advantage of this top of the 8th.
The top of the order now steps back in. 10th batter of the inning. Second time we've seen Taylon Snow at the dish in this top of the 8th. She got a single to start this inning off for Auburn. Diving attempt. Neither player gets there. Really good effort, though, from both Bevier Robinson and Montana Davidson. In the 8th inning for Auburn, a Taylon Snow single. McCracken drew a walk. Riviera on a bunt advanced them over to second and third base. There's another base hit from Snow, Stopping at third is Podany. Auburn has runners at the corners, and that is the 6th hit of the at-bat for Auburn. Tannen Snow is hit by a pitch. Veach, an RBI sac fly. Then Marissette a single, Perry a single, Greenwood a double, Podany a single, and now another Taylon Snow single. So 5 straight hits for Auburn and 6 hits total in the inning. And now it appears as if Van Studeman will make a change. And could it be, Morgan, as simple as Bozeman ran out of gas?
I mean, it could be. You know, she's been pitching a lot this game, pitching a great game, and then, like you said, potentially just ran out of gas, kind of lost her oomph factor.
And then Auburn made some adjustments too, perhaps.
Yeah.
Just had some really good swings here in the 8th inning.
Yeah, I think more of it comes down to Auburn's lineup has reappeared, gone through a few different times. So just seeing the same pitcher over and over again, these batters are going to come up with a better plan, know what to expect. So I think that's kind of what it came down to right here is Auburn's offense.
State will now send to the circle number 31, Grace Fagan, a freshman lefty. Fagan, I would think, and still will be in at least the discussion of maybe being a Game 3 starter tomorrow. You haven't seen Emily Williams either on the weekend in the circle for State. Loza pitched effectively last night. Bozeman was good through 7 innings today.
Yeah, definitely. Grace Fagan, someone who could potentially start the next game. Mississippi State also has Emily Williams, who they've yet to put out there this weekend. So a few different options.
Meanwhile, here comes Casey McCracken yet again. McCracken 1 for 3. Drew a walk and scored earlier this inning. You wonder how much the walk and the hit by pitch early in this at-bat affected Bozeman. Pop up, foul territory into the stands. That'll ricochet down towards the front row, and that'll be a strike to McCracken. Auburn now with the runners at the corners. Taylon Snow at first, Podany at third. Fagan's ready and misses off the outside corner. It's been all freshmen in the circle this ball game for State. Bozeman and now Fagan.
Yeah, 2 pitchers that came on this year. Fagan obviously has thrown a little bit more than Bozeman, who made her debut a couple weeks ago, but 2 pitchers that Mississippi State is going to lean on.
Hard hit ball. Center field. Moore says she has it, and she makes the grab. The inning is over. Auburn, though, scores 6 runs on 6 hits. There was 1 Bulldog error, and Auburn strands a pair. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Auburn seemingly in control on top of the Bulldogs by a score of 7-1. State will have up the 2, 3, and 4 hitters, Leilua, Kat Moore, and Anna Kate Seegers. Auburn needs 3 outs to get this weekend series tied at 1 game each. The Bulldogs need 6 runs to keep this ball game alive and 7 runs to win it. They'll have Leilua, Moore, and the cleanup hitter all set to come up here in this bottom of the 8th. Went to extra innings, tied at 1, and then Auburn exploded for 6 runs in the top half of the frame.
Yeah, Auburn did a really good job of getting on base, getting hits.
Leilua hits the first pitch deep and over the wall. Gone. Well, that gets State back to within 5 runs. And that's about as fast as you can score a run. 1 pitch, boom, home run. Leilua will knock on the year her 15th homer. And that'll give State its 2nd run of the
Not uncharacteristic
No,
of Leilua
about
at all.
about a 240-foot home run to straightaway center field. Cat Moore steps in, and the first pitch from Harris is in there for a strike.
You know, home runs are interesting because, yes, it's a home run, base clearing, you score runs, but it also can be seen as a rally killer almost because the next batter comes up, nobody on, and it's kind of like a brand new start.
Like a reset, yeah.
Exactly. So something really important after a home run to do is just, like, keep it simple, you know? Like, don't try to do too much. Continue. Oh.
Cat Moore hits one high, hits one deep, back-to-back jacks. Okay now. I'm
just going to stop talking.
That's going to be it for Harris. Auburn is not going to waste any time. Back-to-back jacks, Leilua and Moore. And Harris only threw about 3 pitches in this inning and gave up.
Great job by Mississippi State. I mean, we just saw it by Auburn, that contagious hitting. And now Mississippi State back-to-back home runs. Just showing that they're not going away. They're staying in this game, taking advantage of these late innings.
Cat Moore's 4th homer of the year. So back-to-back jacks. No doubters. And State has trimmed Auburn's lead to 4. Well, we saw 7 innings, and we kept wondering, when are we going to see these two offenses begin to look like themselves? And then here we are in the 8th inning.
Yep.
We saw Auburn send 11 batters to the plate. And now here we are in the bottom of the 8th inning, and State comes up back-to-back home runs.
I know. I mean, we were talking about it, and I guess we spoke it into existence.
That's right.
The big inning we wanted. Just had to wait for 8 innings to get there, but what a performance by both teams so far.
So Spexarth is now back in the ball game, and she puts one down the line in fair territory. So back-to-back-to-back hits, a couple of homers, and a single.
That's a pretty good day. 3 hits on the day.
And now State will use a runner at first base as Chloe Malaulu will run at first base. And now I believe we're going to see Auburn make a pitching change. A bit of a rough exit, but Harris certainly has done more than enough to put Auburn in a position to win this softball game. You cannot close the book on her yet because she does have a runner on at first. That is still her responsibility, but she leaves with a chance to be the winner. And she now gives way to Ashley Swindle, who we saw in the game last night, Morgan. Swindle actually threw the majority of the ball game for Auburn. She went the final 4 innings and gave up 4 runs total. Only 2, though, were earned. 5 hits through 4 innings. 1 strikeout, no walks. Faced 18 batters. Nothing she did last night was dominating, but she was pretty steady in the circle for Auburn.
Yeah, she was someone who really mixes in a lot of different speeds to keep the batters on their toes. She has a drop, she'll throw in a change, and then she has another off-speed pitch that almost looks like it's curving. So she just has a lot of different tools in her toolkit to keep these batters off balance, mix in different speeds.
For Auburn, coming into the weekend, Swindle's numbers feature an ERA of 2.53, which isn't bad at all, but coming into the weekend was the highest ERA on the team, on the roster for Auburn.
Yeah.
5-2 record coming in before she suffered the loss last night, so she's now 5-3 on the year. This will now be her 15th appearance, and all but 5 of those appearances have been in relief. So she's become sort of this go-to reliever for Auburn here in 2019.
Yeah, definitely a different look than we saw earlier with Harris and a righty pitcher.
Candace Dennis in there. That ball hit the dirt, blocked up nicely by Veach to keep Mala'ulu on the bag at first.
A righty pitcher who's going to keep it low in the zone compared to Harris and her rise ball.
That pitch misses outside. Dennis, a lefty hitter, 2 for 3, a bunt single in the first. A single deep to right field off the wall, in fact, in the 4th. And then she grounded out her last time up in the 6th. Puts a drag bunt down. Only play is at first, and Dennis clearly trying to reach on that drag bunt. Just could not hustle there fast enough. Good play defensively for Auburn.
Yeah, really good play right there, playing the small ball. Dennis unable to leg it out into a single, though.
Number 32, Montana Davidson.
Runner at second base now is Mala'ulu, the freshman from Long Beach, California. A big first out to get for Auburn. The Tigers on top by 4 runs. Runner on is second, 1 out for Montana Davidson, who fouls back the first pitch, strike 1. Montana Davidson today 1 for 3. Reached on a fielder's choice in the first. She flew out to right field in the 4th and then got a base knock to lead off the 7th inning for State. Looking back on it now, how big was that defensively for Auburn to get out of that inning?
Such a big moment.
A comebacker to Swindle, who throws the first in time. Now Auburn an out away from picking up their first SEC road victory of the season.
You know, it's so interesting. The first 7 innings of this game, it was a complete pitcher's duel.
Yep.
And now the 8th inning comes, and it turns into a little bit of a slugfest.
8 runs combined on 9 hits combined in this 8th inning. Sarai New takes one in the dirt, ball 1. Sarai New so far today 1 for 3. The senior right-handed hitting first baseman from Southern California. The San Diego area. Hits one, foul, but not foul by much. Mala'ulu over at third base running. So you have a SoCal native on the bases, a SoCal native at the dish right now for the Bulldogs. In there for a strike, belt high. Auburn 7 runs on 11 hits. No errors committed. State 3 runs on 10 hits. They've committed 2 errors. Off-speed pitch, fair ball. That's going to score the 4th run of the inning. A stand-up double down the line and left for Sarai New. Her 2nd hit of the ball game, and State now down only 3 runs. Auburn still looking for that elusive 3rd out.
Yeah, a lot of 2-out hitting this inning by both teams. Really just showing that neither team is ready to go down, ready to back down. Both teams are going to fight.
Van Studeman comes out, perhaps wanting to use a pinch runner at second base. And we'll see who will come out of the State dugout. Looks like it'll be Brooke Cantillo. So Sarai New did what she was supposed to do.
Absolutely. Can keep the inning going. Get the RBI. A really selfless at bat. Great job by Sarai New.
And now for State, the tying run is in the on-deck circle. Auburn still clearly has the edge, but with every passing pitch, it becomes a slightly more probable State comeback. Heimberger finds a hole in the Auburn defense. And now the tying run is at the plate for State. Found the hole in the infield.
Yep, found the hole just enough.
Tying run at the plate with 2 outs. Robinson takes strike 1 from Swindle. We saw Auburn get 6 hits in the top of the 8th. State now with 5 hits in the home half of the 8th inning. Robinson bounces one foul.
What a great game.
Yes, this has been a fantastic softball game. We have now seen, after we saw a great pitcher's duel for so much of the afternoon, we now have a combined 23 hits in the game.
Wow.
Robinson swings and misses and strikes out to end the ball game. Auburn gets out of the jam, and more importantly, Auburn picks up the victory. They knock off Mississippi State 7-4 in extra innings to force a rubber match tomorrow afternoon. A wild one here in Starkville today, Morgan.
Yeah, just like we've been saying all day. I mean, great pitching performances by Chardonnay Harris and Caleb Bozeman for the first 7 innings, and then the extra innings come the 8th inning. And what a slugfest by these two teams, both showing that they have some grit. They're ready to fight. I'm excited to watch tomorrow's game.
Auburn now 27-5 overall, 4-1 in the SEC. The Bulldogs fall to 20-9 overall, 1-4 in conference. Tomorrow, the winner will take the series. 1 o'clock will be our airtime here at News Park in Starkville. For Morgan Bell, I'm Anthony Craven. So long. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you again tomorrow afternoon.